from the CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS 2 News at 11 p.m.
Oh, a wild weather day across the Southland, and some areas still seeing rain right now.
It was a day of mayhem, from heavy rain to mud and debris flows, flooded streets, and even a plane skidding off the runway. We have a team of reporters fanned out across the Southland covering this storm.
Now let's get right to CBS 2's Garth Kemp for a look at where that storm is right now. Garth.
Yeah, Jeff and Pat, let's start with the warnings real quick. The storm's starting to move, but still, we're dealing with flash flood watches for about another 58.5 minutes or so. You can see them. Interesting, we put a dense fog advisory now online out towards Joshua Tree. The desert's out that way. That's because of ground fog. Victorville also under flash flood watches. Our winter storm warning goes on through midnight tonight. We are doing a little bit better. The reason we got so much rain, that low came in farther north than what it looked like it was going to at this time last night, and that just changed the entire forecast. That's how quickly it can happen. Heavy rain continues down to the south, moving off to the east. Our mountains still picking up some light snow. We'll have your complete forecast, I promise you. We'll get you into the weekend coming up soon. Pat, back to you.
All right, see you in a bit, Garth. Well, clean up in Orange County tonight after heavy rain flooded streets and gushed into businesses, causing serious damage. CBS 2's Hermela Aragawi is live in Costa Mesa, where business owners are getting their first look at the aftermath. Hermela.
Good evening. You guys see this line right here? That is how high the water went. And then it came over here and it moved cars like this one into the streets, which was casually floating there before it landed on the sidewalk. But it didn't stop there. It pummeled into those businesses there and left behind a huge mess. In Costa Mesa tonight, a massive cleanup. Roy Mendrin says water came rushing into his shop early afternoon and tore through expensive electronic equipment.
We saw it start rising, and the water literally flowed in from both the front and the back, and we just started shoveling water out. We were just trying to put sandbags and stop it, and there's nothing we could do. And
he says he's looking at about $75,000 in damage.
I don't know, a little anxiety. Trying to figure out how I'm going to figure this all out.
Next door, Ted Boyko's bike repair shop fared a bit better, but also had nearly a foot of water rip through.
Started getting sandbags naturally first thing, and sandbag the front, the back, trying to subside the water from coming in. It didn't do anything. It was coming that quick.
Boyko says this is the first time in 10 years he's seen anything like this.
This was a flood that came out of nowhere. I've been caught off guard all day and ready to cry.
It was an incredible scene across Orange County as 4 inches of rain turned the roads into a sea of floating cars on Balboa Island, which is prone to flooding, but also in Costa Mesa, where a lot of residents say they were caught off guard.
I didn't expect anything. Got the alert on the phone about flash flood warnings, but I get those all the time, and I've never thought anything about it. And, apparently this time proved me wrong.
Both business owners say they don't have flood insurance. They've been here for more than 10 years, but haven't thought they needed it until now. Reporting live in Costa Mesa, Hermela Aragawi, CBS 2 News.
In Orange County, homeowners were stunned when debris started pouring out of the Holy Jim Canyon onto the Trabuco Creek Bridge. In Santa Ana, the parking lot of Kennedy Elementary School looked more like a swimming pool. So many streets flooded, police went on high alert to handle emergency calls. And strong rain in Irvine caused the roof of an industrial office to partially collapse.
A lot of homeowners in Lake Elsinore are under an evacuation order tonight because of dangerous mud flows. And they're looking at a huge cleanup when they get back. CBS 2 Inland Empire reporter Nicole Comstock is live for us tonight in Lake Elsinore. Nicole?
That's right. They have a lot of cleaning up to do out here this weekend. You can see all of this mud flow running down the street behind us from the Holy Fire burn scar. Well, at about 2:30 this afternoon, all of that mud shot up out of this drainage ditch behind us and went right across the street toward these houses. Black muddy water shooting about 15 or 20 feet in the air in Lake Elsinore. The Holy Fire debris flow burst out of the wash that runs behind dozens of homes on Brookstone Lane. This at about 2:30 when a full day of steady rain turned into a dangerous downpour.
I got home, she showed me it, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. It's gushing out of the channel.
Chris Thompson lives in one of the many zones that received mandatory evacuation notices due to flash flooding. His family, one of about 20 people here on Cobblestone Lane, stranded inside their homes because of that sudden and swift mud flow.
And they were basically sheltered in place because of the fact that we did have the debris flow. That since has subsided, and we've been able to get those people out of there as well as the horses.
Some neighbors evacuated once crews cleaned the roadways. Others stayed behind because they went through the same situation in last week's storm.
Oh yeah, the cleanup crews have been great. They've been there nonstop, 24/7, just working on it, getting it all cleaned up. Yeah, they're putting in work.
And it's very likely not the last time they'll experience this in their neighborhood because of how much damage was done by the Holy Fire.
And along with that damage, it tore up all the ground system, the root systems that were all there to keep all this mud in place.
CAL FIRE Riverside says here on the Riverside County side, neighbors are facing a few years worth of landslide and mudslide concerns.
Yeah, it's a long road ahead of us with this Holy Fire. It's been a mess.
And at about 9 o'clock this evening, many of those evacuation orders were downgraded to evacuation warnings. So you definitely want to check in with the county because if they do get any more rain out here, that could change within an instant. Reporting live in Lake Elsinore, Nicole Comstock, CBS 2 News.
Thanks, Nicole. Now, Malibu residents are keeping a wary eye on the hillsides. 2 days of rain have left the ground soaked and unstable. Sandbags are out tonight, and earlier in the day, water forced the closure of several roads in the area, and a boulder rolled down a hillside and into the side of a flatbed on Malibu Canyon Road. The driver, though, is okay.
You could say it took an act of God to make the I-5 completely empty. Look at that. The Grapevine, though, is back open tonight, but earlier it was shut down in both directions near Castaic because of snow. Caltrans crews were busy cleaning the highway just a few miles south of Gorman. Sky 2 captured this video showing traffic at a complete standstill.
Well, stay with CBS 2 News at 11. We continue to track the rain, and Garth will be back with an update just a little later in this newscast.
Well, now to some surprising breaking news. Comedian Kevin Hart is stepping down from hosting the Oscars. Well,
CBS 2's Jeff Nguyen is live in the newsroom to explain what happened. Jeff?
Pat and Jeff, the comedian made the announcement late tonight after becoming the center of controversy for refusing to apologize for homophobic tweets. Kevin Hart was announced as the host of the Academy Awards on Tuesday. That's when the tweets resurfaced. They were posted about 8 years ago. In them, he used offensive language about gay people. But then, when he posted 2 emotional responses on Instagram today, there was no apology.
So I just got a call from the Academy, and that call basically said, Kevin, apologize for your tweets of old. I chose to pass. I passed on the apology. The reason why I passed is because I've addressed this several times.
Oh my God. Guys, I'm almost 40 years old. If you don't believe that people change, grow, evolve as they get older, I don't know what to tell you.
So that triggered an outcry from the LGBTQ community. Actor Billy Eichner tweeted, "A simple, authentic apology showing any bit of understanding or remorse would have been so simple. Hollywood still has a real problem with gay men. On the surface, it may not look like it. Underneath, it's far more complicated." Well, Hart, he tweeted in the past 2 hours, "I have made the choice to step down from hosting this year's Oscars. This is because I do not want to be a distraction on a night that should be celebrated by so many amazing, talented artists. I sincerely apologize to the LGBTQ community for my insensitive words from my past." So far, no word on who will replace Hart to host the 91st Academy Awards, which is just more than 2 months away. The show is no stranger to controversy. In 2015 and 2016, the Academy took heat for the lack of diversity when there was the Oscars So White hashtag that made headlines. Live in the newsroom, I'm Jeff Nguyen.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, President Trump is expected to nominate a former Fox News host and current State Department spokeswoman to be the next UN ambassador. The president is expected to announce the nomination of Heather Nauert tomorrow. Nauert would be replacing current UN ambassador Nikki Haley, who is the former governor of South Carolina.
The long farewell to George Herbert Walker Bush came to an end today in Texas.
After a morning church service in Houston, the former president was buried outside his presidential library in College Station.
Our Father.
The former president's casket was carried through St. Martin's Episcopal Church for a final public goodbye. At the service, George P. Bush, son of Jeb Bush, remembered his grandfather.
The most gracious, most decent, most humble man that I will ever know. And it's the honor of a lifetime to share his name.
Following the service, engine number 4141 carried the nation's 41st president to his final resting place on the campus of Texas A&M University. Mr. Bush was buried alongside his wife Barbara, who died in April, and their daughter Robin, who passed away in 1953.
Two men stranded in choppy waters off the Southern California coast. The dramatic rescue video is coming up. Plus this.
A Southwest flight slid off the runway in Burbank today. How the plane finally came to a stop with 117 people on board. We'll have that story coming up in a live report.
And the break-in went just as planned, but the escape plan, it needed work. Later, the story behind this smash-and-grab mishap.
And here's a look at the guests tonight on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.